Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. I am genuinely thrilled to have you here today because we are tackling a totally fascinating and frankly, a really universal psychological mystery. Today, we're looking closely at the paradox of dreaming big versus, well, actually taking action. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? We all see it around us, that massive, glaring gap between the incredible things people want to achieve and the actual tangible steps they take to get there. It's a giant puzzle that has frustrated millions of people, and today, using the insights from our source material, we're going to break down exactly why this happens on a structural level.
Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever noticed how some people dream incredibly big, but they never really act? Just think about it for a second. Maybe it's a friend who always has $1 million business idea, or a coworker who's constantly talking about writing a novel, or hey, maybe it's even you looking back in the mirror when it comes to a new fitness goal. It's kind of funny how our brains absolutely love to vigorously map out this flawless 10-year master plan while we're actively avoiding doing something as simple as folding the laundry. You have these massive, world-changing goals mapped out in your head, but the real-world execution just falls flat. Well, it's not just a coincidence. It's actually a highly recognizable behavioral pattern.
So let's isolate what we call the classic dreamer's habits. First up, they are constantly talking about success. Sharing their plans with absolutely anyone who will listen. Second, they spend an enormous amount of mental energy imagining completely different, elevated lives. And here's the kicker. When you stack these behaviors, it creates a serious psychological rush. Talking about it actually releases dopamine. It gives you this intense, immediate high just for mapping out the fantasy and discussing the end result long before any actual work has been done.
And this brilliantly illustrates the trap that gets set in our minds. As our source puts it, and for a moment, it feels real. This is a super powerful, almost deceptive trick the brain plays on us. When you visualize that success so vividly, when you talk about it and imagine all the details of that new life, your brain actually cashes the reward check before you've done the work. You literally feel the pride, the status, and the satisfaction without having moved a single inch.
But then, nothing changes. The illusion simply evaporates. You wake up the next day, the excitement fades away, and your life is exactly the same as it was the day before. The starkness of this reality is heavy. All that mental energy, all those great feelings of success, and yet your physical reality remains completely untouched.
So the crucial point is, when we see someone, or even ourselves, stuck in this loop of big talk and zero action, society immediately jumps to one label: laziness. We judge ourselves super harshly, assuming a total lack of willpower or drive. But our source material busts this wide open. That is a complete myth. The reality points to something entirely different: hidden mental patterns. It's not about simply being lazy. It's about invisible psychological forces that are operating entirely behind the scenes.
Let's slow down for a second and really absorb what that means. These hidden mental patterns are the psychological mechanisms that cause people to get completely stuck in that gap between dreaming and doing. And the wildest, most fascinating part of all this, they do it without even realizing it. This is the true culprit happening inside the mind. Basically, your own subconscious creates a loop that traps you right at the starting line. It satisfies your desire for success with fantasies instead of demanding actual execution. It's not that you lack drive, it's that your brain has literally found a shortcut to feeling successful without requiring you to sweat.
Which brings us to the final thought for today's explainer. Think about these two distinct realities. On one side, you have being trapped in potential, having all the brilliant ideas but remaining perfectly still. On the other side, you have making progress, actually moving the needle forward in reality. Understanding the psychology we just uncovered is absolutely the first step to breaking out of that trap. So keeping these hidden mental patterns in mind, I want to leave you with this provocative question. Taking a hard, honest look at your own deepest ambitions, which side of this equation are you currently living on?